So this is a question. If you're a student, please state the course you're studying. If you're a graduate, please state the course you studied in school. I want to know my audience. I want to know if I'm talking to the technical community, or let me know how to approach. So if you're a student, please just type the computer engineering, awesome. Accountancy, okay. Let's see. Represent yourself, represent your course. Okay, I'm having more computer engineers here. Architecture, marketing. Okay, you're in 100 level, awesome. Okay, I need more responses, more responses, more responses. Okay. Okay, I have 100 level students here, accountancy. Is that all? Is that all? Okay. All right, so I can see electrical and computing engineering. I'm seeing computer engineering, marketing. I studied architecture. Awesome. So that's good. That's a very good way to start. So we know that we have most people that are into the IT space. So that's good. Next question is, have you ever taken any training in cybersecurity? Okay, just yes or no. Yes or no. So that would know it will be easy for everybody. I'm seeing 4 participants. Is there only 4 persons that joined? Or 5 persons? Okay, more persons are participating. That's good. Only, okay, I'm asking you if you have ever taken any training in cybersecurity. Okay, yeah, into robotics. Okay, that's close. Yeah, somebody said yes. Okay. Okay. All right, that question. Next question will be, right, let's get down to it now. So before we proceed, entering the topic, securing the future potentials of cybersecurity, unlocking the landscape, exploring trends, and all that. So I want you to know, what do you know is cybersecurity? Your own definition, feel free, based on your understanding. Okay, somebody says securing the online space, all right. Who else, who else? I want to get more definitions of cybersecurity. What do we understand is cybersecurity? Protection of data, good. Protection of online space, protection of data, good. Someone says hacking CBN. This guy must be very funny. Awesome. I love this. Protection of data, protection from cyber attack, hacking CBN. I love that response. It took me unawares. I sure didn't prepare for that one. Okay, thank you very much. So all these responses are, it says, it is the study of the protection of data from hacking. I love the way you guys are putting these concepts, which is good. So it means that we, at least we understand a bit of cybersecurity. That makes it easier for us, okay? So let me now continue sharing my slide. Let me pause this one. Okay. All right, so okay, we have already defined cybersecurity. So the next thing will be okay. All right, background and introduction. All right, so cybersecurity is the ongoing effort to protect individuals, organizations, and governments from digital attacks by protecting networked systems and data from unauthorized use or harm. So when it comes to cybersecurity, it's not just about hackers, it's about protecting individuals, you and I, organizations and businesses, governments from digital attacks by protecting networked systems and data from unauthorized use or harm. All right. So there are 3 levels to it. There is personal level, there is organization level, and there is government level. So on a personal level, you need to secure your digital identity, your online presence, your computing devices. We call it personal area network. The devices around you, like most of us have mobile phones, your mobile phone, your PC, your wireless devices, your wearables. Okay. Then when we're talking about on the organization level, we are protecting what? The organization's reputation, organization's data, organization's customers. All right. So most of us here must have heard of some, recent cyber attacks, cyber security breaches, and breakdowns of big corporations. So these companies are what? Having their cybersecurity posture is no longer what? Protected. What I mean by posture, that is the overall practice of cybersecurity in their company is not up to standard, or they are lacking. So there is something we call, according to NIST is the National Institute of Standard and Technology, is a US agency under the US Agency of Commerce. All right. According to them, cybersecurity is an approach or series of steps to prevent or manage risk of damage to, unauthorized use of, exploitation of, and if need be, to restore electronic information and communication systems. Okay. They said in order to strengthen the CIA, that is confidentiality, integrity, and availability of their systems. So there's something we call the CIA of cybersecurity. We call it C stands for confidentiality, I stands for integrity, and A stands for availability. So cybersecurity is not just one skill, all right? It's an entire universe. It's an entire universe. It's not just a single career path. Let's just picture it as a battlefield. Everybody's fighting with different specialized domains, all right? So we can say that we have, next slide. Okay, we have security operations. These are some of the major domains, all right? We have security operations. This has to do with all the operations that goes on in the business, protecting the business from cyber attacks. We have security operations center. We have security incident management, making sure that if there is any cyber incident, it is taken care of and tackled before it gets out of hand, minimizing damage, minimizing reach of cyber attack, minimizing attack surface, and so on. So in a security center, we have 3 tiers. We have tier 1 security analysts, then threat hunter, we have the security manager. So we have SOC analysts, we call them SOC analysts. We have tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. And these 3, from entry role to middle role to managerial role, they are running the general security of every organization. They have some implements or tools they use. We call them the CM and SOA tools. CM is security incident management, SOA is security orchestration and response. So with these tools, they use it to analyze the day-to-day activity of the company, making sure that there is no, making sure that they can detect security breaches or cyber incidents and stop it before it gets out of hand. All right. Then we know that there is GRC. GRC stands for governance, risk management, and compliance. Okay. This has to do with making sure that your company is keeping to the prescribed standards, the prescribed security posture, the prescribed international standards. We have standards like health information protection, HIPAA. We have GDPR, which is for protecting data resident in the European Union of 2018, GDPR. We have PCI DSS, that is payment system information. We have NIST We have NIST cybersecurity framework. We have so many frameworks. What we mean frameworks is what? They are kind of cybersecurity prescribed way of carrying out your business. This is the best practice. This is the best way we should carry out our business. So GRC is all about governance, risk management, and compliance, making sure that all these companies, quality control, quality assurance, making sure that everything is top notch, so that if there is any incident or cyber breach, some persons will be held responsible. Some agencies are in charge of making sure that these standards are kept. All right. We have network security. Network security has to do with protecting the network devices, overall protection of network devices. We have routers, switches, hubs. If some of you did computer and electrical engineering, you must have heard of networking. Some of us here have even taken 1 or 2 certifications and network, programs. So everything that has to do with how devices communicate to each other is what network. We are protecting endpoints, we are protecting various networking devices at different layers of the OSI. OSI is Open System Interconnection Model. So this is where, when protecting these network devices, we are protecting the internet, we are protecting individuals, we are protecting businesses. Let's not forget, cybersecurity is on 3 tiers: individual protection, protecting businesses, and overall the government. Next one is cloud security. Cloud security is what? Protecting the cloud, the internet, the wide internet. Cloud security, we can say, is all about, when you hear the word cloud, it means internet. So everything that has to do with protecting the internet, protecting the cloud, making sure that you're safe online, making sure that these digital systems are up and running, that's cloud security. Next one we have is application security. These various applications that are run on the cloud, both web applications, mobile applications, like the Google Meet we are using is the software. We are using this application on cloud, is hosted on cloud, making sure that there is no breach, that's running smoothly. That's what application security. Sorry about that. Next one is digital forensics. Digital forensics is all about investigation of cyber attacks, investigating breaches, where there is different, they take different tools and different approach to investigate where there is criminal cases or cyber cases or different incidents of various cyber crimes. So they take different tools to investigate it. For example, a company like maybe like let's say build a construction company like Julius Berger, a construction company like Julius Berger could be duped. Like somebody would act in persona of the government. Somebody would be impersonating the government and tell Julius Berger that this is the contract, this and that, and create false documents and sign the contract and make false payments, or either way, it can be from somebody duping the government through a construction company and so on and so forth. So who are called to investigate this are the forensics guys. There are some best schools now that are studying digital forensics, that are studying cybersecurity, cybersecurity compliance, cybersecurity law. These are new courses that are coming out in institutions. So next one is threat intelligence. This has to do with investigating threats, reviewing vulnerabilities. We have CVV, the common vulnerabilities. We have threat intelligence platforms that publish these vulnerabilities from time to time, making sure that we are up to date with the incidents that has happened. So when we are learning from the cyber incidents that happen in different companies, we can get prepared. We would reinforce our systems, would roll out patches. Patches are updates to prevent that attack from happening. So when we have this, we visit, cybersecurity has to do with a whole lot of research, okay? We visit these website, we visit this database, threat intelligence database, we update it with our current database, making sure that we are ready so that attackers will not use this same, this same set of vulnerabilities to attack our systems. Okay, let me put it in plain way, because I know, like some people studied accountancy, some people studied, architecture. So these whole terms will be sounding so foreign to you. Let's say that we are running a business, or all of us as participants in CYBERNOVA, we're part of a company. And then I discovered that there is a major breach. Somebody used my credentials or somebody's credentials, like your ID, your login details, to access our network. I find a way to block the person, block that access, block that port, update my credentials. What do I do next? I escalate this information, or I report this information to the company. I report it to everybody. Let everybody know, see, something like this has happened. Stay alert, so that it won't happen to you. Or what we usually do on social media, maybe somebody was duped or something happened, then you see another person making a video and be like, you guys should stay wary, they are using these tactics and so on. That's what these threat intelligence agencies do. If I have a cyber incident, I'll go there and tell them, I'll report, this is what happened, this is the tactics, this is how I was able to mitigate it. Everybody will stay alert. Next one is what? Identity and access management. Okay, we call it IAM. Is managing what? Like I said, credentials, they make sure that everybody, the right people, have access. We have authorization, authentication, making sure that the right people have access to the right information. You have to prove that I am Sixtus for me to access this meeting. I have to be given a login, maybe code, or I'll be given a key card, and my own level of access as an intern, for instance, would not be the same level of access the senior level manager would have. I'm only entitled to the resources and tools I need to work as an intern. But if by chance I get resources that are above my pay grade, I get company secrets, I get my hands on certain materials that are sensitive, maybe because of mistake of maybe the HR or mistake of the IT personnel, that becomes a problem. I could misuse it. That becomes a vulnerability. Somebody can either hack my account and from there get access to the company, or I myself may unintentionally review these secrets online, and then somebody online can from there perpetrate a cyber attack. The last one is offensive security. Offensive security is what? Launching of what? Offensive, like the way it sounds, offensive security, like launching of testing security systems, launching cyber attacks, or launching cyber campaigns to monitor. When you hear of the pen testers, they check overall cyber security posture. These guys are part of offensive security. There is defense, there's offense, there's blue team, there's red team. These guys are the pen testers. They're the ones that try to break systems, try to hunt vulnerabilities, threat hunters, and so on and so forth. Okay, before we proceed, is there any question? Let me check on our, okay, let me see, Q&A. Okay, no questions so far. Feel free to use the Q&A. There's any question? All right, let me proceed. Next slide. All right, so we are living in a digital age. So this digital age has accelerated innovation and economic growth. All right, that means it has also increased the threat landscape, and there's a lot of challenge to our national and global security. Nowadays, we are hearing a whole lot of incidents of ransomware, cyber espionage to critical infrastructure attacks. This ransomware is what? When a cyber attacker or a bad actor, we call them bad actors or we call them cyber criminals. When these guys, find a way to infiltrate your network or find a way to infiltrate your system, then they now encrypt your device, or they, in clear terms, password your device with sophisticated passwords such that there's no way you can access your information, your hardware, your database, especially your database, so that you have to pay them money, usually in crypto, because they like anonymity. Usually in crypto, you pay them money, and then once you've paid them, they will unlock your system. A whole lot of money have gone into ransomware. Like a whole lot of businesses have been held at ransom because of this. So this has become like the order of the day. Cyber criminals are becoming more sophisticated. With AI, you see a lot of people impersonating another person. I was watching something on TikTok a few minutes ago. A man was talking about how some criminals used AI to clone his sister's face and the voice and called him a distress call that the sister was kidnapped by a cartel. That they need to, like, the guy is acting like an assistant that's trying to help her, that is, you send some money to save his sister. So this guy at first was confused, like, what is the problem? They said that she was just in the wrong place, wrong time, wrong place, wrong time. And after he took a time, he noticed something. When he mentioned cartel, something came to his mind, that there was a particular time he heard about this type of scam, using a cartel scam to scam people, especially people that are from maybe mixed Latin American origin. They're usually much more afraid of the cartels because they understand what it means that a cartel is holding a family member. So this guy immediately went out of the call, called his father, because he knows that his father and his sister stay close. He called his father and asked him, where is his sister? The father now said, your sister is sitting next to me. And he now confirmed that it was a cyber attack waiting to happen. They would have swindled him of his money, and his sister would still be safe, sleeping with no incident. So this is way these things have been increasing in complexity. Last week, I attended a cybersecurity webinar organized by the University of South Wales. We discussed on cybersecurity skill gap and imperative for national security. Then in that discussion, one of the speakers, Dr. Tombari did a discussion on this particular issue. He said across every sector, government, financial services, telecoms, energy, defense, the digital ecosystem forms the backbone of the modern society, all right? This ecosystem that is the backbone of the modern society is also dangerously fragile, because basically everything is running on the internet, and the global security workforce is not rising up to the challenge. There's a lot of security threats, and the global security workforce is small, is a source of concern. Okay, the amount of incidents compared to the amount of people ready to fight is very small. So that leaves us in a fragile ecosystem that any little thing, the whole system can collapse. Remember, I mentioned about the recent breaches in major cloud service providers like AWS, like Cloudflare. Cloudflare failed again yesterday. LastPass leaked passwords and identities of millions of people online. And these identities and information are used to what? To collect, money from people, swindle money from people. They are even sold to criminal agencies on the dark web. So a whole lot of things are going wrong, and there's a large talent gap. Businesses are still reactive. That is, they will wait for cyber attack to happen before they respond. There's a whole lot of vulnerabilities limiting our capability to fight back, creating a strategic disadvantage. All right. So next, we are going to look at the cybersecurity landscape in 2025. Okay. This is according to ISC2, which is the International Information System Certification Committee, ISC squared or ISC2. It's telling us that the cybersecurity workforce, as of 2024 till now, stands at everybody, global cybersecurity workforce across the world is 5.5 million professionals. All right. Yet the world faces a 4.8 million talent shortfall. That means we have 5.5 million professionals as it is. And in order to respond to the current cybersecurity threats that we are facing now, we need another 4.8 million more personnel to respond, to make sure that our institutions are running, our critical infrastructure are running. You can see from North America has 1,400,000 million, Europe has 1.3 million, Latin America 1.2 million cybersecurity professionals. And you see that there's a decline, -2%. Their growth, they're declining in growth. But you see that Africa and Middle East, we are increasing rapidly because a whole lot of youths and young people are here. The cybersecurity is still very much new in this part of the world. And that's why you see plus 7.4%, 431,302 cybersecurity professionals. This is as at 2024, 2025. It hasn't increased so much. So the next is this is the workforce gap. Okay, like I said, the workforce gap, we need about 4,762,000 more persons to fill in the gap. All right. Now, the cybersecurity crisis, like I said, is a global crisis. It's not only peculiar to Nigeria. It's a global crisis. It's not only peculiar to Nigeria. Despite the growing, landscape, we're having, despite the cybersecurity is emerging, we are still having a lot of crises in our hands. See that 87% of organizations report cybersecurity skills shortage. All right. 87% of organizations as it is now, Microsoft, Google, AWS, Amazon, mention it. There are so many businesses, Netflix, big corporations, they are reporting skill shortage. And an estimate of $10.5 trillion is lost to cybercrime that is at December 2025. There was a report that was released last week by ASC Squared about the cybersecurity skill gap. That report is still new, and these statistics correspond with it. Then we see that, like I said, 4.8 million persons are required more to be able to fill up the gap. Like 47% of cybersecurity roles are still unfilled, and it takes an average of 200 days for an average cybersecurity position to be filled. Like maybe a SOC analyst is laid off today, or a cybersecurity engineer is laid off today. Before the company goes through the life cycle of putting out the job placement, advertising, collecting responses, running ATS tracking system, fixing interview, and so on and so forth, till the final onboarding, it takes an average of 200 days. That is what? Over months. That's months. So this is not going to become, the hiring period would never get shorter than this, because every company wants to hire the best. So this is some of the, the challenges we are facing. So why does this gap exist? Decline in interest in cybersecurity. A whole lot of young people today have declined interest in cybersecurity. All right, they are moving up to other sectors like design, graphic design, like project management, and so on and so forth. So this is going to create a lot of problems in the future, because any skill you are going to learn, any industry you are going to learn, you're still going to require cybersecurity. You still require to protect the identity of your staff. You still need to protect the identity of your workforce. Okay, rapid digital transformation here means that digital infrastructure is expanding faster than the skilled workforce can grow. All right, that a whole lot of devices are coming out every day, a whole lot of innovations are coming out every day, and all these are creating new systems. AI has made a lot of proliferation of new technologies. All right, this is creating new attack surfaces. What do I mean attack surfaces? For example, if before the only way I can sign into my account is with password, keys, and so on and so forth. And then I find a way to link all my accounts with Google, for example. And all these accounts, maybe I signed into Google, I sign into AWS with the same single sign-on, I sign into my Facebook, I sign into all these accounts. If by mistake that my Google account is compromised, all these other accounts is compromised, because a whole lot of people have sacrificed security for convenience. It's now very easy for me to just do sign in, continue with your Google account. But because of that convenience, you have created new problems. So every new technology comes with its new challenge. That's what I'm just trying to say. Every new innovation comes with its new challenge. Cybersecurity as a service, that is a whole lot of young people, a whole lot of inexperienced cyber criminals can now buy tools from dark web, can buy rootkits, can buy sophisticated tools they can use to what? Sniff out information, use to launch sophisticated cyber attacks. Very easy, and it's now very cheap. So cybersecurity as a service is growing. There is a lot of technology complexity. That means the required knowledge to operate these systems, the required knowledge takes time. It takes time for you to learn, for example, AI, for you to learn for you to learn cloud security, for you to learn how to monitor and operate IoT systems and app security. Then limited training pathways. All right. As it stands here in Nigeria, we have very limited practical hands-on cybersecurity trainings. So many of the businesses that are promising to train your cybersecurity, all they do is what? Holistic training, general introduction. It's very difficult for them to have specializations. Many schools that are offering cybersecurity in Nigeria are just doing surface level. You will never really gain any risk, even to your final year. I'm speaking from experience. I know so many of my friends are this cybersecurity in my school, and many of them in their final year, they are still struggling to, grab the real tools and real skill sets that is needed. They will now finish school and they'll still have to specialize. So that is a problem. Then that is where we come in, that gap between academia and industry. These institutions are operating what? Outdated academic curriculum that is not in sync with reality of what is on board today. So this is what cybersecurity landscape. This is the type of attacks we are facing today. Before we go into this, I need to explain there are different types of cyber attackers. Okay, there's a group we call the script kiddies. These are inexperienced young people that are still trying out their hands on different tools, not with the intention of to cause harm, but to explore. They are trying to explore, and in the process, they put a lot of businesses or a lot of people at risk, or even themselves at risk. All right. Then we have the hacktivists. We call them hacktivists because these guys are driven by ideology. They probably are protesting for poor social cultural beliefs. Maybe they are being marginalized, or they are the members of the minority, or maybe they are facing some challenge that they want to gain attention. So they now maybe cause a major meltdown to draw attention. Those guys are hacktivists. We have cyber criminals, or we call the popular 419 or Yahoo boys. These ones they are there to cause harm. They are there for financial gain. They are majorly driven by financial gain. So we have phishing. Phishing has to do with what? Extracting personal information, or extracting is a social engineering tactics. Okay, phishing has to do with using emails, using voice to scam people, or to get people to click on links, or to make them to stand in like a trusted person to convince people to click on links. You have seen some places where you be like on WhatsApp groups, they tell you Glow is doing Christmas bonanza. Click on this link to get 50,000 airtime. That's a phishing link. You can see somebody that will clone Zenith Bank email and send you an email that looks so good, especially with sophisticated improvements in AI. So it's a double-edged sword, So business email compromise, we call it business email compromise, BEC. Then nation state actors, nation state espionage. We see countries that have their own team of ethical hackers, like North Korea, like the US, like we've all read about the Iran US problem. There was a lot of war to get a lot of state secrets from Iran, to get state secrets from US and Ukraine and Russia. There's a lot of, they use this information to launch cyber attacks between these nations. North Korea is very fond of that. They have a dedicated cyber espionage team. They used to launch attacks to different countries, either to destabilize their economy or to gain economic advantage. Critical infrastructure attacks. Attacks on OT systems, attacks on our business systems, attacks on pipeline, gas. There are so many things. So when we talk about critical infrastructure, these attacks would render, movements, will render life, will make life so insufferable. Imagine when the whole power grid collapses at the same time, when traffic systems are not working, internet is shut down, hospitals cannot operate at full capacity. It's going to be a disaster waiting to happen. So, sorry about financial fraud and disinformation. I've already spoken about it. AI-enabled attacks, I've spoken about it. A whole lot of deepfakes are coming up. Next, okay. Wait, hold on. Global impact assessment. This is just the information, how cyber attacks have impacted on individuals, on businesses, and on nations. You see, over $27.2 billion have been lost to identity fraud, and you see $4.88 million is the average cost of a business. Business lose this amount in an average data breach. Like I gave you an example with LastPass, they had a data breach, and their customers. One of the major issues with data breach is when you've lost your integrity, customers can no longer trust your brand. All right. I don't think there's anything you can really do to save reputational damage. Reputational damage is one of the major issues why many businesses suffer from after a data outrage. Then nations, when there is a outrage, like I explained, both attacks on energy, healthcare, this is the type of sophisticated attacks that is used to launch, to destabilize nations. Like I already given an example with the Ukraine, US, the Iran, US situation, the Russia, Ukraine, and also we will know that a lot of elections will be coming up in the coming months, 2027, 2026, a lot of elections. So we'll be seeing a lot of AI and deepfakes used to influence the outcome of these elections. So we see this, and it doesn't stop there. Let's look at the bright side, guys. Let's look at the bright side. With all these problems I've discussed, there is a high demand and there's a large compensation for cybersecurity professionals. We see that there's estimated 26% job growth from now till 2030. Like in the next 10 years, there's going to be a very noticeable job growth in cybersecurity. We are looking at 16,000 plus projected openings for information security analysts each year over the decade. And look at the top sectors that will be hiring. If you are looking in cybersecurity, you look at servicing the sectors, which is public sector. We are looking at finance. We are looking at healthcare. We are looking at manufacturing. Then the high demand domains is what? Cloud security. These are the places you should be looking out for if you are looking at going into cybersecurity. You should be looking at cloud security, artificial intelligence and machine learning, governance, risk and compliance, OT and IoT systems, incident response, identity management. All right. So now, to us now, young professionals that are trying to get into cybersecurity, this is the three major tracks we can approach. All right. Cybersecurity presents vast opportunities for job creation, innovation, and entrepreneurship. The sector demands skilled experts to develop cutting-edge solutions, driving economic growth and technological advancement worldwide while securing digital infrastructure. So for track one, we have for students, you don't really need a computer science degree to start, all right? You just need to, get the foundations, get 1 or 2 certifications, and hands-on experience. Emphasis on hands-on experience. Hands-on experience, like Try Hack Me. Try Hack Me is doing the Advent challenge currently for cybersecurity. Forage, it will give you simulate job environment for big tech companies. I have done Forage and it's very helpful. It will simulate for MasterCard. These are you have the website, you can search for it. Forage, Try Hack Me, Hack the Box, CTF competitions. They are cybersecurity simulation businesses. We have the progression. Usually, as a beginner, you start from analyst to engineer to architect. Maybe you can say an analyst can be an intern, somebody learning on the job, doing data protection, doing monitoring and basic. So the next one is for IT professionals. If you're already into the professional space, maybe as a computer engineer that has graduated, like some of us now that are about to finish school in the next 2-3 years, this is the track you probably take. But you can always start from any track. There's no fixed way of doing it. You can take you can leverage on existing skills which you already have, like electrical electronics engineering. I studied electronics engineering, telecommunications. We have skills on networking. We have skills on telecommunication infrastructure management. We do a lot of cabling. We do optic fiber installation and so forth. So these are the skills that I'm going to bring on board. I will leverage on the skills I already have. Then I can now focus on maybe cloud security. I can focus on incident response. I can focus on infrastructure security and so on. And I can now go for more intermediate professional certificates like CCSP, which is for cybersecurity information protection. You can go for CISM, and you can also go for Azure security and so on and so forth. So for the track 3 is what? The cybersecurity business leaders, all right? Cybersecurity business leaders who understand risk in business terms. For example, somebody that's worked for 10 years in the bank, somebody that's worked for 15 years as a manager. You understand what it takes to manage risk. You're confident, you are a leader. You're going to take all those technical and leadership skills into cybersecurity. This is the path for you. Governance, risk, and compliance. You're going to be looking at privacy, risk quantification. You're going to look at reporting, third-party risk, and so on and so forth. This is the resources you should be looking out for. NICE framework, NICCS. These are the certifications to get you started. So, any questions now before we proceed? Let me look out. Let me check Q&A. Please feel free to drop questions on the Q&A on slide.com. All right. Feel free to drop questions on slide.com. I want to assume that there is no questions. I'm not seeing any new questions there on slide.com. Slido.com. All right. Let's look at the next slide then. Cloud security. So we are looking at emerging trends in cybersecurity. So these are the new technologies that are still coming out. These new technologies are going to help us to stay ahead of attackers. So key technologies driving security includes cloud security enhancements. All right. This is the architecture for the modern enterprise. Cloud security involves cloud is a virtual space where individuals, businesses, and countries can store and manage data. They can use computing resources and they can perform computational tasks without using their own physical computers. For example, we have the Google Workspace. I can sign into a Google Sheet and do some changes there without necessarily downloading the app for Google Sheets on my PC. I can also send you the link, give you access. You can also make corrections to that sheet. We are all working remotely, and our infrastructure that is running Google Sheet is on the cloud, run by Google Cloud Platform. So this is a very beautiful example of cloud computing. All right, it's remote and it's enable you to work. It also offers pay-as-you-go pricing, so that businesses do not have to buy all those infrastructure to run their operations on site. They don't need to start buying expensive networking devices to keep their systems running. And another issue with buying all those things is if there's any incident, cyber incident, it takes longer time to resolve these incidents, and it takes a longer time for this business to do updates. And but with cloud computing, we offer scalability, efficiency, business agility, productivity, and high availability. This is what makes cloud computing stand out, and that's what these cloud service providers market, like AWS, like Microsoft Azure, like Google Cloud, like Oracle, like IBM, like Alibaba Cloud, like SAP. These are various cloud platforms. All right. So the next one is zero trust. Zero trust model means never trust, always verify. Never trust, always verify. That means for every individual, for every system, for every device on my network, they must present a means of identification, who you are and what you have. So if I want to enter this building, I present a key card. I present not just a key card, I also enter my biometric to scan to show that I am fully a member of maybe CYBERNOVA. Or if I want to access resource on AWS and I want to sign into AWS console, I have to create account. I have to create keys, password, access, and if I'm giving it to somebody, the person has to present the keys or the password to show that he is from me, and then I will only give him the required, resources. We call it least privilege access, or we call it role-based access. All right. So making systems. Then another beautiful thing about zero trust is you always assume that there's breach every time. Just assume that there's breach, that something is wrong. So it keeps you kind of on a state of hyper hyper alert. You're always looking out. You're always improving your system. You're always updating. Okay, for example, we all know that Microsoft Windows 10 have stopped rolling out updates as at October 2025. The best required practice to do is to upgrade to Windows 11, so that if there's any new updates or patches